Hello everyone, I am the Pauranika. Welcome to the 9th episode of Sri Mahabharata as written by Sage Jaratkaru. This episode is in continuation to the Astika Parva of Adi Parva. After hearing about the curse given to the snakes and Lord Brahma's words that the son of Sage Jaratkaru would save the snakes, Rishi Saunaka asked, "Dear Ugrashrava, you mentioned about Sage Jaratkaru. Who is he?" Then Sauti said, "Jaratkaru is a sage who had depleted his body scarily with the power of his finances, and hence he got the name Jaratkaru. Vasuki's sister too looks like that, hence she too got the name Jaratkaru. Sage Jaratkaru had no interest in marriage and used to visit many places and duly perform his penances. One evening in a village, Sage Jaratkaru saw the souls of his forefathers hanging to a root of a tree, ready to fall into a pit. They looked very fragile and weak. Jaratkaru inquired them about their whereabouts. They then said, "We have an heir by name Jaratkaru who left everything and even forgot to do his duties towards his deceased forefathers. He decided to stay unmarried and therefore not able to perform the rituals to feed us even." Then Jaratkaru, who realized his mistake, apologized to them and said that he would marry. The only condition he imposed on himself was that he would marry only of Swanamni, a woman by the same name as his. He searched all over the world for a girl by name Jaratkaru. One day, while praying to the god in a forest, mighty snake Vasuki heard his prayers. He realized that the sage was none other than Jaratkaru and went up to him. He told him about his sister and married her off to him. Sage Jaratkaru, with Vasuki's sister Jaratkaru, gave birth to a boy named Astika, who later stopped Sarpayaga performed by Janamejaya. Then Rishi Saunaka asked Sauti, "Why did Janamejaya perform the Sarpayaga? What was his motive?" Then Sauti said, "When Sage Uttanka, out of his revenge towards Takshaka, reached out to Janamejaya, the king learned that Takshaka was the cause of his father's death. Once upon a time, Janamajaya's father, King Parikshit, who is the son of Veerabhimanyu and the grandson of the greatest archer of his time, Prince Arjuna, went out to the forest for hunting. He shot an arrow at a beast. The beast, which usually dies at a shot like that, did not die, and Parikshit ran after it, chasing the beast. After chasing it for a long while, he got tired and looked around. There, he saw a hermitage and a sage by name Samika meditating outside the cottage. He approached the sage and asked if he saw a beast that was hit by an arrow. The sage, who was in a Maunavrata, the penance of staying silent, did not respond. King Parikshit got offended. He picked up a dead snake and placed it around the neck of the sage. Even such act did not anger the sage. King Parikshit left in anger but later repented his actions. The sage of great tolerance has a son named Shrungi. Shrungi was not at home when this happened. Another young sage by name Krusha saw this. While returning home, Shrungi met Krusha, who made fun of the incident and narrated it while laughing. He taunted Shrungi, saying that what is the use of all the penances if he can't teach a lesson to the arrogant king who had insulted a great sage. On hearing the story, Shrungi's face contorted in rage. He took some water in his hand and said, "A king who had insulted my father while he was in his penances is an insult to the Kuru lineage. I curse him to be bitten by the snake Takshaka and die in 7 days from today." When he returned home, he asked Sage Samika, "Father, why did you leave the king who had insulted you?" Samika responded, "Shrungi, I do not appreciate the curse you gave to the king. Overcome by rage, you cursed the king who had been protecting all of us all this while. This is reprehensible. One should know how to control anger, else they must suffer the consequences." Then Shrungi responded, "Father, you may or may not like the curse I gave to Parikshit, but I still stand by my word. I haven't uttered a lie all my life, and therefore my word will not go waste." Then Sage Samika called his student by name Gauramukha and sent him to Parikshit Maharaj. "Gauramukha, go to the king, exchange pleasantries with him, and then inform him about the curse. Suggest him to find a way to protect himself from snake Takshaka." The king received Gauramukha respectfully. When he learnt about the curse given by Sage Shrungi, the king deeply regretted his actions. He conveyed his respects and apologies to Sage Samika. He constructed a lone tower, blocked the movements around him, and started ruling from there along with his ministers. On hearing about the curse given to the king, a Brahmin by name Kashyapa started to Hastinapur, the capital of Parikshit. On his way to the capital, in a deep dark forest, he encountered snake Takshaka, who was bound by the curse of Sage Shrungi. He inquired Kashyapa on the purpose of his journey, and Kashyapa said that he was going to Hastinapura to help the king come back to life, as he possesses the knowledge to cure snake bite. Then Takshaka challenged him to prove his skill and bit a tree. The tree immediately reduced to ashes. Kashyapa went to the tree, performed a simple ritual, and the tree came back to life. Takshaka, who realized the prowess of the Brahmin, told him that Parikshit's lifespan has reduced. "Arya, I realize you can resurrect him with your skill. However, his life is coming to an end. Whatever you are expecting out of the king, I'll pay you more than that," said Takshaka. Then the Brahmin meditated for a while to know about King Parikshit. He realized that Takshaka indeed was right and returned to his place after receiving the money from Takshaka. On the seventh day, Takshaka ordered his folk to disguise themselves as Brahmins and take some fruit to King Parikshit. Takshaka reduced his form and hid inside a fruit. As soon as he reached the king in the palace, he came out of the fruit and bit King Parikshit. Janamejaya heard the story from his ministers and sage Uttanka. He raged at the fact that Takshaka stopped a man who could have saved his father. In such wrath, Janamejaya decided to perform the Sarpa Yaga. Thank you. Jai Sriman Narayana.